Alrighty. We are live. I'm 5 minutes late. My deepest apologies. Daniel, welcome, my friend. Welcome. XYZ, great to have you for the first time. Gabriel, welcome. Taylor, great to have you. Hope the family's doing well. Eduardo, Benzo. Oh shit, I don't have my hat on. Oh no. That's how whatever you'd call it, how organized I am. The magical hat is not on me. The Art of DHT, welcome. Mixter, hey. I'm just, I'm just gonna get chat on my iPad. Give me 2 moments. And then we'll get stuck into it. Now today, I just want to do some study, you know, just do some painting, as the title suggests, happy fun study times or whatever it says. Mixter, welcome, Jose. Nebraska says hello. The whole of Nebraska? That's bloody nuts. Well, let them know I say hi back. How's the camera? That's in the right spot, I think. Alright, let's get serious. Bam, there we go. That feels better. Duncan, welcome. Leonardo, great to have you. Alright, let's get this stuff that you guys don't care about off of the screen. I'm just going to get it onto my iPad. Alright, how have you been doing? Hope you've been doing alright. Let me just get this up in front of me, and we will just ease into this one. Yeah, and then we'll get going. So this is just like a little study I was doing last night. It was fun using my my little plugin that I've been playing around with. That's what's been exciting for me recently. Scratching that. I know there's plugins out there, I think, already, but I just wanted to see if I could figure it out. So we'll definitely play around with that, and it actually sped up my workflow quite a lot, which is pretty cool. So I want to like develop it a little bit more, add some little features that I think is unique to what I've got, and then maybe just chuck it out for pay what you want sort of thing. Ms. Mera, welcome. Good morning. Okay. So let's adjust the camera real quick. I think scooch it over a bit just so I'm in frame. Nice one. All right. What plugin, may I ask? I'm making it. I'm building it. So it is a Autofill lasso tool. So this isn't standard Photoshop functionality. This is something that I've wanted ever since getting more into environments and stuff. So just it autofills the selection, and then coupled with my increase and decrease brightness script that I wrote, you can start to like stair step the values quite quickly and get some nice gradients just with the shapes. And that's why she looks quite like she's very like shape designy kind of, because I wanted to focus on just really focusing on how's that for English? Just like designing the shapes, I guess. So yeah, it's been fun. So here's the little behind the scenes. There's the thing that's making all that happen, which might mean absolutely nothing to most of you. But yeah, I might put it out once it's ready to be put out, just for like pay what you want. So you can have the power of shapes all over the place, which is cool. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about this one because I'd like to also, like with each shape that I put down, each shape that I put down, I might want to like vary the saturation or like vary the hue within like a range. So this is where, and I can turn this off as well. So I've just got like a little check mark here if I want like the base functionality of Photoshop, if I want to like cut away things and whatever. But I'm discovering things about it which I didn't intend. So I squashed a massive bug as well today because I had it hooked up, like the event that fills this in. You fill it, but then if I move the canvas, the whole thing would fill. And that was really frustrating. But I fixed that, which is cool. But what you can do is you can do all these shapes and whatever, right? So if we turn the autofill back on, you go bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. Then you mask it, and then you can sort of just cut into the shapes as well. So you can start. So yeah, really, really fast for like ideation and stuff like that. But no, it's been fun. Yeah, I've only just started to play around with plugins, like just even just thinking about them from getting them from other people as well. And so yeah, so I'm going to just really experiment with my own creation. So I was doing a couple of these studies and using this sort of like really, like you look at this, like there's shapes here. This isn't super blended. I decided to play around with blending a few different sections here and there. But I'm really excited about it. Like this is just a cool new way. It gives me very palette knifey sort of feels, but in a very digital way as well. But all the principles are the same. All the light and shadow rendering and blah blah blah. All that's the same. So we'll do some rendering today, I think. I just want to have some fun because we came off. So I sent that off to, so I'll show you the final for those of you that didn't get to see it. I think it's this one. So the final render that got sent off, and I'm hesitating to look at this because I'm sure I'm going to find something that I'm just going to cringe at. But so this is the final character design quarterly piece that I've done. So it comes with the tutorial when it comes out. I don't know when it comes out. I'll let you guys know if you do want to go and pick it up. But yeah, so that's like a big weight off my shoulders. It's done. I don't know if I'm going to stream contract work because it was very inefficient, but it was very fun as well. So I might do some of these challenges. So this is based off of a 3-word challenge. So it was thief, surprise, and woodlands. So if you go back into a couple of the recorded streams, I go through the whole character design, figuring stuff out, tweaking things, changing things. There is a block in there where I like work on a big chunk of it by myself off stream because there was like a deadline looming, so I just needed to get it done. But yeah, no, that's done. So I'm just going to ease back into the streams with some fun, just study. So we'll crack open Puref, we'll crack open Pinterest. We're just going to have a bloody fun. Not like it wasn't fun before, but it's like a less deadline-y sort of stream today. So let's open Puref. Yeah, so Gavin, just having some fun, man. Mangotchi, I would buy. I appreciate it. Yes, this is like my first personal software thing that I'll release. Gotta figure out how to release it and make it clear how to install it and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no, I'll just do it. Release it, you pay what you want and get some use out of it. So I've done some sketches as well to get us going. So I've just got this, I bought like a reference pack. So I've just been having some fun playing around. So I might, have I done another sketch somewhere? I'm sure I did another sketch. Yeah, so I did old mate here, which could be fun from like the lighting. So we might start with him maybe, just to kick something off. Actually, no, warm-ups. Warm-ups first. Although there's no real... Nah, we need to keep in the habit. We're forming habits here. So let's warm up. Let's go on, let's crack open Pinterest. Let's give some shout outs to some artists that are going to inspire me today. So straight onto Pinterest. Yeah, Eduardo, yeah, it does. A lot of the other software does. Like I think Clip Studio does. I know Procreate does to a certain degree. But yeah, fucking Photoshop. For whatever reason, it's such a useful tool. Okay. So I want to focus on like people today. Maybe a little, actually no. For the warm up, I'm going to do an environment because it's something that I've been focusing on recently and I really want to get better at that. So just doing a little bit each day, not stress myself out over it. So I'm going to get some of my, and this is available, just go on my Pinterest, look up Ben Eblin. It's kind of like my personal, it's not like a Ben Eblin design one, it's just one that I've sort of collected over the years. So, Daniel Leisky. Let's throw him in the old Pure F. Appreciate you, my friend. This is beautiful. So here I'm looking for like shape language, I guess. I'm really into like the simple shapes, which is what spurred me on to make the bloody plugin anyway. But so I forgot, I didn't even mention who that last one was. Benoit Rocher. We're just going to make up the pronunciations of some of these people. Surendra Rajawat. That's lovely. I like the shapes of the clouds there. So some things I'll pick out when I'm looking for reference, I'll pick out particular things that I like. It might not be the whole thing. Generally it is the whole thing I like, but there's certain things like I've got a thing for like shadows on buildings. I think Duncan, you pointed that out the other day. Something about it. Like this is, because it's my favorite time of day is like the sunset golden hour. Oh, another one by Benoit Rocher. Very good. Love this. Unfortunately, I don't speak Japanese, so take a screenshot of that, or I'll save that into my environment one for you to go and check out. I love the lighting on that one. Let's have a look. Oh, just like this. Like, come on. Look at that. Unfortunately, unless I can find, who is this? This almost looks like Ango the Mango on Instagram. I might hesitate. I'll crack open Instagram and show you what I mean. Oh no, I'll just go on to Pinterest. So, Ango the Mango, which is Angela Sung, I believe. No, it gives me bloody mangoes. Angela, I think it's Angela Sung. Yeah, that gives me Angela Sung vibes for sure. Apologies if it's not, but we'll just take some of Angela's for inspiration. Cuba Streets. This is bloody beautiful. I want to get into texture as well, figuring this out. I would love to even with the plugin. Like, this is sick. I mean, it's very small, but I think like if it works at small scale, it works at the larger scale. Like who's this? Aberon Gabriel, beautiful work. And we're just going to use these. And what I might do, because what I've been doing with previous warm-ups is just doing some studies of their work. What I might do is get like an environment itself. Oh, look at this. This is traditional by the looks of it as well. Tim Horn, beautiful. And Frank Ordaz, beautiful. Okay, I think I'm going to hesitate. This one looks like a Rob Ruppel. Every time. Rob Ruppel, look him up, please. If you don't know who this is, we're gonna... Damn, no, hold on. I think this is a study of Rob Ruppel. I think. Anyway, last one. We'll get this one. Ahmen Aldoori. Cool. All right. Now, what I'm gonna do? I love street. Like I'm digging like street vibes at the moment. So, like street photography. So street photography. So I'm going to take a photograph. Then I'm going to try and transfer the style onto use the shape language of the reference that I've just gotten, and I'm going to put that in my own style using photos as reference. So if I can get like look, hello, look at that. Welcome to the warm-up. Who is this by? Shija. Oh no, if we zoom in, actually, look at that. The golden hour in Japan. Jeferaza Daviano. Beautiful. Alright, this will be a fun one. Let's just go. Let's just get into it. Oh, I like this as well. I'm really digging like Japanese streets as well. There's something about them. Like even just this like slice of life, corner store. That's just sick. I don't know why I like it. It's just one of those things. It's just like, yeah, that's cool. And I don't know who this is by. But I've saved it to architecture. So I've got an architecture board if you want to check that out. And like an environment design. So I'll save this one as well to let's go architecture. And that'll do. All right, let's get stuck into it. And I'm going to get back onto chat. Dylan, welcome, my friend. What do you use to put the picture there? So this is called PureRef, right? It's a cool little tool. Sometimes I'll just throw the reference on the canvas itself. Doesn't matter as long as you can see the thing. But this is a free, like it's pay what you want sort of thing if you do want to get it for free. Carly, welcome. Music is a tad loud. Thank you very much for letting me know. Turn it down just a smidge. Done. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Music should be down. Let me know if that's feeling okay. Would you do you do shapes and composition or gesture and expressions when sketching? I do it all. Or I attempt to do it all. Sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's fine. That's what this whole thing is about, the warm-ups, testing things out. I want to actually do streams where it's way out of my comfort zone. So it's like a freedom stream where it's like there's no expectations here at the moment. You guys are just following along with whatever I want to do really, but no, I'm here. This is not pre-recorded. I'm here. Sorry, I just get caught up in getting the reference. I can get stuck in Pinterest for hours and hours and hours. I am having a nice morning, Adam. Hope you are too. Akun, welcome. Yep, music should be down. Please let me know. I do have chat next to me. It's just on my iPad. I was just, yeah, no, all good, all good, all good. Okay, Duncan, again with the bloody knowledge, dropping the knowledge. I'm going to check that out because Angela's work, because it's traditional as well. I want to do some traditional stuff. Anyway, enough jibber jabber. Let's get into it, shall we? So I might actually copy this if it's going to let me. There we go. Now, what I like to do with my warm-ups, particularly if it's like a value study, let's get this little bloody white canvas out of the way. Helps me see the values a little bit more. Right, and what I want to do is just start off with a black and white study. So I've got this here, right? There's some nice shapes in here we can play around with. And what I want to do, the cool thing with PureRef, you can go images, arrange, and then it just goes bam, arranges them all nicely for me. So I can just always be looking. Let's get my noggin out of the way so you guys can see it better. And let's add warm up. Yep, still warm up time. Sweet. Okay. This is probably a better view. All right. I'm going to use my Autofill plugin. Baby. All right. Dima, welcome. Welcome. No worries. Variady tops. No stress whatsoever. No worries. Okay. So what I'm going to do is get a similar dimension. I might get the exact dimension. How's about that? Let's scooch this over. Exact dimension of that. Just look at that. I didn't even expect that to happen, but it automatically filled it for me. I love coding. Coding's so much fun. I highly recommend now with like chat. But then we have issues like this where oh no, that's a Photoshop issue. That wasn't me. Because that was what was happening with my bug that I found in it. With chat GPT and all that sort of stuff, now is a beautiful time to learn how to code, because this is just using JavaScript, all the plugins and stuff, right? So it's just, I get the same feelings from coding as I do from art. Some may even say it's the same thing. Okay, so here, so if you see this moving up and down, I've got a couple of scripts which I'm going to release whenever I clean them all up. It's just a shortcut that goes up and down in the old the brightness, which is just a massive time saver, right? Although I've got it to going up by 1%, whereas I usually go up by 5% increments, because this 1% increment really helps with those subtle value changes. I'll use that later. I won't, because I'll have to go into the code and change it. This is what I want to do here. Have that. That's all right. No one cares. No one cares, baby. Shut up. All right. Let's, what do we reckon about this value? So I'm just going to start off with real simple shapes, right? Work from the background back to front, basically. So get that roundabout there. And we might slap some color on it and a little bit. So we're just here for those that have just joined. Welcome. 1. And 2, it's warm-up time. So we're just doing some environment studies. So what I'm going to do also is just squint down. I'm going to do the old Clint Eastwood and see where my darkest values are. I don't know, like, this is a thing that I'm playing around with more and more. Some people reckon to go dark values first, light values first. I don't know what one I like to do first. Ben, I have a question. Right now I'm having trouble at anatomy. It's not that it's hard, but you want to take it to the next level, please. Yeah. Well, I have what I like to do with any study, really, right? Any study of art, do it on a project that I'm interested in, right? So if it's anatomy, like what I oftentimes do, is I will create a character, right? And with that character, I will want to study it within my own character, right? Instead of just copying it from like a piece of reference necessarily. It's hard, it's tricky, but I learn the most when I sort of get my own stuff, like my own interest, and like do it in that way, if that makes sense. Very vague, I know, without, maybe we'll do some anatomy stuff today as well. Who knows? This is like a variety stream. You never know, we might even do some sculpting. I say that every stream, but we'll see. All right, so I'm just looking at the real simple values. I don't know if I like going dark to light or light to dark. I'm just kind of free-forming it at the moment. No real, I'm just trying to simplify the shapes. That's the big thing I'm looking at here. And as we go, things will start. This is what I've only just started to get into environments. More, not seriously, but having a little bit more of an interest in environments, particularly these more graphical interpretations of the environments as well. All right, so this is all going to be, I want to get some of this road in. So that's a little bit of a lighter value. It's all about values, right? That's one of the biggest things that I've learned, or am learning still, is without the values, nothing matters. You can just slap all the color that you want on it. If the value structure doesn't work, it's a lost cause. Caddy Kits, welcome. Thank you so much. Derek, when you say shape language, what does that mean? Very good question. I don't entirely know. It's kind of a buzzword, I guess. But it's like, for example, if we're looking at these, is there an example? Like here, for example, this is not photorealistic of like Angela's one. There's a little bit of like wonkiness to it. Like it's a little bit not perfect, and that's consistent throughout, right? Like, yeah, it's using perspective and everything, but like even if we look at like this doorway, there's like a particular way that Angela's done this, right? Even there's like a little bit of a lean to things. There's a simplicity to it as well. There's like editing going on, like removing the complexity of it, all the complexities, all the little shadows and shapes and this and that. It's starting off, at least from what I've seen of Angela's work, it's the name of the game is simplification. Right, and even just with a few of these values, we're starting to get, I'm gonna zoom right out. We're starting to get, I'm getting used to the shortcuts that I've got here, sorry, my apologies. I lost my train of thought. Shape language. Oh yeah, it's like editing, right? So editing things down. Finding those real simple shapes. And the way that you put those shapes down, I guess, is your shape language. It's the way that you draw this particular building. I might wonkify this up, right? So I might make this lean a little bit, or just have a little bit of some wonkiness. Now, this isn't a script here. This is the line tool. Now, shout out to Duncan in the chat, chalkboard guy. He showed me this. You've got pixels, path, and shape up here, which you can't see because my bloody noggin's in the way. But just trust me, there's pixel, paths, and shapes when you choose the line tool. And this is wicked because you can just throw down lines willy-nilly, and it just makes them as pixels, and it's great for like quick studies like this. And I've attached, whoa, no, that shortcut isn't working, never mind, forget what I was about to say. But basically you can change the weight or the size of the line, I guess. So that was like huge. You can like come here and have like a little bit of a thicker line for like speed, which I might actually use that. What I'll do for even more speed, let's go, we'll get a bit behind the scenes here. So I'm using an XP pen that was gifted to me by a friend. I want to change the going that way and going that way. So all I'm doing here, so I've got this scroll wheel. You can do it with the shortcuts like bracket, like the brackets, to move up and down in the weight of this line here, right? So you can go bracket, 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 but it goes down in like increments of 1, which is like okay, but it's just like going tap, 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 like, which is pretty annoying. So now I've got the scroll wheel, so I can go like big, quick, and then I can go smaller and smaller. It's just an efficiency thing, nothing super fancy. All right, keeping up with chat, keeping up with chat. Dima, can you check your Instagram and to what version? Sorry, I don't understand that. If you can reword that in a way, that'd be fantastic. Dima, just bought your Gumroad course. No, thank you. And I hope you get a ton out of it. I'm working on, so it's more of a tutorial that I've got up on Gumroad at the moment, but I really want to get cracking with this course that I'm working on. That is exciting to me. I've also been playing around, like, for those that are not familiar, I really like learning stuff, just stuff in general. I'm really thinking about learning game design. Because I've got an idea, and I'm open, I don't care, like, someone take it and run with it and do whatever you want. I would love to, like, how can you bring like a Stardew Valley-esque type feel to learning things, like whether it be art or that kind of stuff. Like, that's what I've been toying around with ideas wise. I'll probably create like a different channel or different thing for sharing development progress and whatever on it. But it's very pie in the sky, like maybe one day kind of thing. It's not something I'm going to be working on tomorrow. But I've just been exploring it, you know. Different things, because it's like I'm looking for ways to scratch that like coding itch, that creative itch, that art itch. It sounds like not a very good thing when you frame it like that. It sounds like I should go see a doctor, but it's like, yeah, I just love figuring stuff out. If I can figure out a way, which I'm working on at the moment from the content side of things, to make a living just from learning new stuff, we'll be one happy chappy. Alright, so now we're using these. The shapes get smaller as they go down into perspective, right? And there's two things that's giving the viewer, you and I, the indication that perspective is going on. One is the shape, like the size of the shapes, right? So and two, the values. So generally speaking, things that go into the background, this is what I've learned with environment stuff, just with playing around with it for a few weeks, is things in the background tend to be lighter And as things get closer in the foreground, they tend to be darker in value. Value meaning the lightness and darkness of an object. Put the bush in there. Let's make that bush a bit brighter maybe. Let's add some of these little shapes. This is a good practice even for like character design, like even some of this environment stuff, because it really forces you to think about the shapes. All right, getting these real simple shapes in. And this works for a face, this works for anatomy, this works for a cat, a dog, anything. All these things can be utilized in different ways, all right? And we're starting to add a few of those darker values in. Blissful, welcome. Roy, my day's going fantastic. I'm here with you guys. So there, yeah, thank you for popping in and keeping me company while I do some study. Should be a fun little stream, I reckon. So with these, because I'm not as used to doing these, you'll notice like I will go quiet for a little bit because my brain's going back and forth, shape, value, shape, value, shape, value, trying to figure it out. So sorry if I'm a little bit slow on chat. I am still watching chat and I will catch up as I go. So a bug. That's what happens every now and then. If I select something that has no pixels, it'll just fill the whole thing in, but that can be a quick fix with the Control Z, which is fine. Nope. And I've had to remap the eyedropper tool to A for efficiency's sake. Great to have you, Blissful. Oh, so glad to hear you're getting something out of the tutorial. That's awesome. Anushi, I'm also getting into background art as well. When doing your studies, what do you think about as you're creating them? Do you often use the marquee tool to block out the shapes? Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm just using the marquee tool mostly, because any blending and that sort of stuff at this point in time is just going to not be detrimental, but there's no real use at the moment. I want to get these values in, and then if I wanted to take it further, I could. But I think what I want to do now, I want to try this because these are all sharp shapes. Can I go here, pick this, make the brightness? That saves some time. That doesn't. Okay, so if the shape is blocked in, then I can just use the... Oh, it kind of looks a bit shit, to be honest, but if I just use the paint bucket tool on a shape, that's fine. That works. What about there? Yeah, cool. That does the job. All right, let's get some of these darker values in the foreground. I might even go on a new layer. I mean, I could do this all on a single layer, but I'm going to start blocking in some of this foliage, some of the trees, just as simple shapes. A guy I highly recommend checking out is Rob Ruppel. He worked on a bunch of things, I believe, but into the Spider-Verse and that kind of aesthetic. If you like that, I highly recommend checking him out. So even having some of these, and the cool thing I found with this little plugin I'm making is that then if I want to cut back in to this like bigger shape to make some of the leaves stand out just a little bit. Even doing some of these like just squigglies, just to get some of the silhouette of those leaves is like a fun thing to do. Right, but then if I want to cut back in, I want to figure out how to do a shortcut with the plugin, but you just go to the mask tool. You can't see the layers, so I'll throw it here. So if you just go to the mask tool, right, and then if I got it on black, I can just cut back into it, which is cool. Could also use like a any texture brush, or even just a hard round if I really wanted to, just to get some of that. Even some of these things peeking through. Cool. Now, I don't want to spend too long in this. This is a warm-up, after all. Alright, so we've got shadows on this building. This gives it dimension. This helps us understand the light source. Right. And we've got some of these telephone pole lines here. I might just use the line tool and just go bada bing. No, we will brighten that up just a tad. We'll go bada bing, bada boom. There we go. Not perfect, but it gets the job done. But what I need to do is get this value and copy that one over here, so then it's consistent. There's my shortcuts. There we go. The cool thing is, and like if I wanted to, I could take this up to like a full finished illustration, but I'm not going to. This is just a warm-up. I keep saying that, not to you guys, but to myself. You guys know it's a warm-up, but I will go overboard because it's a lot of fun. Okay, so we got some of these. Taylor, can anyone in chat tell me if they have to? Oh, is it too low? I can turn me up a little bit, maybe. Does that help at all? Hope so. I'll just adjust that. Ned Rockers, welcome. So yeah, feel free. I mean, I don't have to tell you this, but yeah, crack open Photoshop or whatever software you're using and study along with me. Hop onto my Pinterest if you like something else other than this piece of reference. And yeah, go for it. Ah, see, another bug that just gets rid of everything, which is kind of annoying. Nothing that can't be fixed though. I'm also looking at textures as well, like the play between like these spiky leaves here, all right, versus just the really hard lines of the. I think that's what could make this, or why this might look appealing. I don't know, you tell me. Anushi, relatable. I'm also learning game design on the site. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm almost pulling the trigger on bloody just sinking some time into it. I think I'll do that as a gift to myself, gifting myself permission to after I get my course finished. So that's some extra motivation for me to get that cracking. Study some game development. Because I think that'll be fun, like adding characters that I make on stream into the game as well. I mean, like Frank made an appearance in my last YouTube video that we sort of made on stream. Alright. Increase the values for the leaves and trees here. The trees is, well, I mean, there's a tree here, but you know what I mean. And what we can do, the cool thing is, because we've got this on a separate layer, this tree, there's like light and shadow and stuff going on here. I can then come here, get the what am I trying to do? I can create a clipping mask here, so everything that I do within this shape is going to stay within the shape. Whoop. I can make sort of a little bit of texture for the leaves, I guess, as well. Oh no, another. Come on, yeah, and we're back. Yep. So it's just like that. This is why I don't want to release it just yet, because I don't want people to be like, "What the hell is broken?" It is. It is very broken, but it works enough for what I'm using it for, because I know it's little quirks. The plugin I'm talking about, but. Anyway, see how it's starting to come together? Starting to come together, but I don't want to spend forever on this. So, but I want to, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to finish up some of these shapes, and we'll move on to maybe like a character. This is what I like to do, is just keep a habit up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I did it. I'm learning environment stuff, so let's just keep the habit up. Sensationally Mad 2, welcome. 2 a.m. in London. Oh man, I picked the wrong wrong time to stream for London, haven't I? Bloody hell. Alright, I'll have a look, Dima, after. Toki, welcome. Oh man, that sucks. Well, I hope the weather's cleared up. But glad to have you here. Chalkboard, have you, sorry, Duncan, have you ever played around with custom shapes? I have not. Basically, if you ask me, have you ever played around with, like, tools-wise? Probably not. Up until recently, I've been very bare bones with everything, just using the standard tools. Which there's nothing wrong with that. They've gotten me this far. Let's make the brightness a little bit. So now I'm just going into some of these darkest darks, right? Thumb guns, what an art nerd. Hello, that's me. Scruffs, welcome. Thank you so much. Love the dino piece. Yeah, that was fun. That was good fun. For some reason, I like adding dinosaurs to environment, and that's what keeps it fun, right? That's kind of what I was talking about before, even with the study of anatomy. Keeping it fun, keeping it fresh, doing stuff that you like, instead of maybe just doing this study here, I'll figure out a way to, okay, how could I add in characters? Or like something, you know, to zhuzh it up a bit. Oh, yeah. Alright. See, this is what I'm talking about. If you don't select something and you accidentally mess up, there's some issues. Yeah, look, that's fine. That's good for a warm-up. Right, nice little value study. Little shape study. That's fun. All right, let's do some character stuff. I want to draw some faces. I might do some sketches to begin with before we get into rendering. I'm sorry, just got a bloody mozzie buzzing around. I mean, this guy's cool. Let's do some sketching. Turn off the autofill. I might even just, don't need the background for now. Let's just, we're still in warm-up mode. And these are just brushes I'm playing around with, and nothing super fancy. Use whatever brushes you've got if you're following along. Really doesn't matter. This is just for my experimentation, right? Okay. Lighten the background up a tad. There we are. That'll work. Sketchbook size. I don't really use sketchbooks. The larger the better, I guess. So I'm gonna make this a little bit, just a tad smaller. So just like with anything, I'm thinking about simple shapes, right? I'll mess around. Make some of these shapes. I'll knock his opacity back a little bit so I can see through what I'm doing. Gabriel, is my first time on a study live. How often does this type of stream happen in the channel? Every Monday here, every Monday or Sunday, depending if you're living in the past. I'm in Australia. Yeah. So it's every week. This is a sort of stream habit I'm trying to get into. Notice here, like I'm not getting, like there's a lot of same principles, like with environments or whatever I'm drawing, right? Here I'm looking for the simple shapes, where I was blocking out the simple shapes with actual shapes and like the lasso tool with the environment sort of warm up. Here I'm doing the same but with a pencil or a digital pencil. I'm not looking at any of the details yet. I'm just trying to find, and simplification, right? Because I like the stylized stuff. And we can make him a different character, like what's his story? There's like levels to this as well, like how stylized do we want to get? We can go like super simplified, or that's what I want to start playing around with as well. Different levels of simplification, studying different artists, how they solve different problems. Chaser Whitland, welcome. Jesse. Alberto Miegos, yes I am. I remember the name. I'm sure if I saw the artwork, I'd 100% know who you're talking about. I remember someone mentioned that in chat last, or a couple of streams back. Chloe, welcome. Welcome. Am I doing Plein Air April? I don't know. Maybe. That could be a good thing actually, just to keep the practice up. Is Chloe the streamer? Ray, can you briefly talk about your setup for streaming? I have no idea. I have no idea where to begin. Okay, OBS. I'm using OBS, Open Broadcasting System Software, whatever it stands for. Download that, right? And then I'm doing this through YouTube only at the moment. So, yeah, OBS, and then you can do both things. I've got a camera hooked up to my computer, which is working. So it's like a DSLR camera. That's how you can see me at the moment. That is working as a webcam. So it can work with OBS. And then it's kind of like Photoshop in a way. As you add layers, you can like create a, you can see my operating system at the moment. Trying to draw and talk for some reason just isn't working yet as well today, but we'll get there. You can choose like screen recording, like if you just want your whole screen, or you can record just a certain window of, say, like Photoshop or whatever. I just got the whole screen recording for this one. And yeah, that's basically it. And just a microphone plugged into there, which you can pipe through OBS. So yeah, go check out OBS. That's what I'm using currently. I'm looking at other systems so I can like pump it out to Twitch and other places at the same time, which will be cool to experiment with. Zane, welcome. Eduardo, shape study would just simply mean to see simplified shapes, right? Yeah, I guess like it all depends on what your goals are. Start with the goal. What do you want to do? Instead of just like, oh, I'm studying, I'm gonna. Maybe it is simplified shapes that you're focusing on. And that's the focus of the study. Maybe it's getting a particular way that someone makes their shapes, right? Or studying a particular way that someone makes their shapes. It could be that. There's no rules for what shape study is. It's just trying to find appealing shapes that you like and getting them down on the old canvas. Thumb Guns, 22k sub. Yeah, it's bloody nuts. Again, thank you guys for the support. It's been pretty overwhelming, to be honest. See how it's not like a one-to-one copy of old mate over here? It's just trying to find shapes. His ear could actually go back, and don't be like, at least me, I'm not afraid to like chop it up, move things around if it's not working. Maybe he's like a big guy, so we bring his like traps all the way up here. Good morning, Mark. Good to have you. I love using the bend method to draw heads these days. The bend method. The bend method is no method. And any method. All at the same time. Bend method to rival Michael Hampton, but definitely not. Michael Hampton is an absolute legend, and the bend method uses Michael Hampton's method where it makes sense. Like, do you know, like, I don't know, like I started off with this at the very beginning because I wanted to understand the direction. You can almost see it just through here. Like, this is a cylinder, basically. But abstracting it away too much into too much of a simple geometric shape at the very beginning gets me lost sometimes, and it can stiffen up the drawing pretty quickly as well. No worries, Ray. Yeah, let us know how you get on with it. So shape study can apply to anything. Yeah, because I mean, like, all of these different artists here, they all have different ways of laying down shapes, right? So what I would recommend, like the way that this person draws the car is how they drew the car. The shape of the lights here, they're just really simple, like pill-shaped blobs, you know? Whereas someone else might go in and really render the living heck out of it and just get really detailed with all the little shapes. So it's just, yeah, figuring it out. Like even this guy, super simple. The shapes of the art, I mean, it's a little bit pixelated at the moment, but you get the idea. Even the what, like their shape language for these bushes, just real simple, just like blah, 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 blah. But then they add in a couple of these little bits to show some depth and some of the 3D form. Like it's all in context of what you want to do. Again, everything that I'm saying here is just what I think. Someone else might be saying like, Ben, you got no idea what you're talking about. And a lot of the time, that is true. Maybe I'll give him the quintessential scar or like tattoo over the eye. This could go one of two ways. He could be a warrior right now with this little thing, or he can be a glam rock punk guy. And he's got like a star, like some Kiss action going on, you know? Like he can go either way. There you go, Blissful. You know what's going on. Desenhando, welcome from Brazil. So I've hit the Brazilian time zone by the sounds of it. Dazzling, welcome, welcome. Very true, Dima. Very true. Quan, thank you. I don't sometimes. Particularly if it's not going well. I'm liking the vibe of this at the moment. Pretty cool, pretty cool. A lot of this stylization here is in the eyes, like how simplified they are. Now what we can do is we can say, okay, we've got what we need from the reference. Let's just, again, this is just a warm-up. But let's practice our line work. This is, as I said, this is a variety show right now. I'm doing all sorts of stuff. So maybe we clean up our, when I'm cleaning up the lines, I'm not just cleaning up the lines for the sake of it, I'm cleaning up my thinking as well. Right, because particularly if I'm going a little bit sketchy with the sketch, some of the information there gets a little bit, or can get a little bit lost. So if we, like what's happening with the nose here, it's too, I think, centered. So I'll off-center that nose a little bit just to show a bit of direction. Right, maybe that comes down here and he's got more of a, like a, that sort of thing going on with the nose. This is not super clean line work as well. I'm not comic booking it up. It's just getting a bit of clarity. And then we do the old flip. Fingers crossed. Everyone, I need, it's delayed, so the chat is delayed, but that's okay. It doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible. And even this, like the eyebrow, right? This is what I'm thinking about. This is sitting on a three-dimensional form. So this eyebrow is going to look nothing like this eyebrow. Because the tendency is to, at least what I've had to do, is make them kind of similar. But that kind of breaks the three-dimensionality of it. Because this, if we look at the brow here, that brow is going to sort of come here and tuck back in underneath here. And that brow, because it's turned away slightly, is going to tuck back underneath there, and then the brow is going to wrap around that three-dimensional form. If that makes sense. I hope it does. Thank you, Born. I appreciate it. Eliane, welcome, welcome. CMG. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's what it is, vibrato. Without the struggles, it would the fun times wouldn't be as fun. Because believe me, I've been frustrated for a lot of my art career, or not even career, because this has only just recently become a career, but it's like for my art journey. Maybe we make his beard even bigger and just Bam. I might even take this guy to like I might render this guy later maybe. But I really want to focus on efficiency as well with my brush strokes when I'm rendering. That's something I'm working on, because I have a tendency to go absolutely ham and spend way too long. Oh, it's all relative of what too long means. Too long for what I'd want on the rendering, whereas if I think about the shapes, think about things a little bit more in simpler terms, I could get to a very similar result or even a more desirable result with my rendering. Thinking about things a little bit simpler rather than making the thing look like a 3D rendered sort of model. Nothing wrong with that. Very good practice, and I like the aesthetic of that, but it takes a long time. Oh, this fly. Tell you what, this mosquito. Oh, pause for dogs. Oh, they said if you could see my heart rate when they start barking. It might sound cute to some of you, but not if that happens all day, every day, for no reason. Maybe he has one of those like things, I don't know what that's called, like I don't know. Like a fur thing. See, this is where if we go back to our talks of like anatomy, right? I might say, okay, I want to understand what's happening on his torso. Okay, so let's see if we can think through what we've already drawn. I'm not going to go too far with this, but I like to start with like understanding where the clavicle might be. Like his chin might sort of stop here, right? Then his pecs could be here. Right, and how is that going to work with his shoulders? So doing a bit of anatomy study on your own characters can really, really just like speed up the process of like the rib cage could be there. We can move. Something like that maybe. Right, and then we think about, okay, there's a deltoid muscle here. Again, this is just look it up. Like if you, I don't know all the muscle names, the insertions and all that sort of stuff. couldn't tell you most of them. But I know that the deltoid here on the shoulder is going to connect into the clavicle at some point. So that's how you can start to like study these things in like a fun way. I like getting nerdy with it, so I'm happy to sit down and just do really what some people might think of as like dry studies of just like drawing deltoids and muscle insertions and that kind of stuff. I find that fun, but if you're having trouble with things sticking even, think about, okay, I want to draw like a fun character. How would I stylize this anatomy and put it on my own character? Crack open a book, anatomy book. Crack open Google. Make it fun. There's no reason why you have to make it boring. Again, I don't find any of this boring, but some people could find it a little bit on the dry side, like the anatomy sort of stuff. I think it's fascinating as hell. It makes going to the gym fun as well, because you've got these guys that are just absolutely ripped. They're on all the gear, but because of that, you can see everything. Like, I've got to be careful not to like stare for too long, because I'm just like, look, man, I'm not staring at you. I'm just looking at the way that your deltoid inserts into your clavicle. Okay, don't kill me. Mark, yeah, I am. So it's this, wherever it is, it's like autofill for the selection tool. So we might play around with that on this guy. Actually, I feel like taking this warm up to the next level. We can do some, like, maybe even we can throw him in like a background where he's in like the fields of whatever the fuck, I don't know. We can have some fun. Let me just catch up with chat, and now's probably a good time. I've got this to like some sort of level that I'm kind of okay with, and then I might take a quick break, a little fiver, but I'll catch up with chat. Can I level up the voice a little bit? I certainly can. How's that? Hopefully that's a little bit better. Thank you so much, Hannah. Appreciate you popping in. Yeah, Micro, you've also got dogs. Hey, Hodson. Great to have you. Cats would never embarrass you like that. They don't embarrass me. They annoy me. Gotta love them though. How do you make the neck connect to the body every time? I've been practicing, it looks flat. Okay. One thing I like to think about, so this is a quick tip before we go on a little 5-minute break. So imagine this is like the side of the face, right? One thing that's really helped me. Okay, so we've got the side of the face, we've got the jaw coming down, blah, 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 right? Now, what I used to do, and what really tripped me up, was that the neck, I would just be like, neck, thank you, done, right? That makes the character look, you could utilize this as like an expression kind of thing, like this sort of, like, hold on. But if you notice, I can't see my neck at the moment if I'm at the right angle. But the neck, most of the time, comes like out from the head. It sort of scoops backwards. And this is something that I found with Steve Houston. It was like a great little tip. So actually having it scoop backwards, and it connects to, if we look at this as like a skull. Right. It connects and this is depending on like on a person by person basis, right? You might have people that are like quite thick necks, and it might just come straight back from the head, from the back of the head. If it was like a muscular person, it might just go bam, and it's like, okay, this person works out, or they've got a medical condition. But most of the time, just as like a general sort of thing, it scoops back more so than like straight. If that, I hope that makes sense. Just as like a quick little tip for you. All right, let's write a note here, just for anyone that's popping in. Be back in 5 minutes. The eye socket would fit in there. Anyway, so see, I get sidetracked because I love this stuff. All right. Chat time ASMR. Oh man, awesome. So that's a good level. All right, I'm going to. No, I think I'm all good for coffee at the moment. I'm going to take a quick break, and I'll see you shortly. In 5 minutes, to be exact. Bye bye. Alrighty, we're back. I brought with me hydration. This looks very scientific, but it's just water, as far as you know. Alright. That's one thing I think I've found with the streams. I forget to drink. And it's just coffee. And by the end of it, I'm just dead. So we need to keep the hydration up. Did you pet the dogs, give them treats? No, I didn't. Because they're naughty. No, they're spread out throughout the house. One of them's outside, one of them's in the bedroom, one of them's doing their thing. Okay, so where were we? So I was thinking about this while I was gone. I think there's a cool opportunity to play around with some lighting. Right, so we kind of make our own lighting up. Opportunity for some nice highlights on like the forehead, the nose and the eye even. Do something cool maybe. Oh, okay. He does look like a Viking guy, doesn't he? Alright, so I hope that made sense with the neck. Because that really helps. And the neck comes down to like the pit of the neck here. Right, and then you could think about the rib cage and blah blah blah. Alright. We've got the plugin still working. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Let's think. Oh, I've got the hiccups. Okay. I appreciate it. Layla? IT Layla? Yella? I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but no, I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's get the reference back. So maybe we could use some of this lighting as reference here. So the light source is coming from the top here. I might move it over just a tad. Oh no, that's about right. Yeah, that works. Now let's try this new plugin. The warmup, it is a warmup no more. It's the main event. Okay, so what I want to fill everything with like a mid-grey. I might not do the full body, I might just do like a little bit of something. But this is just like a quick way. Maybe you got a little bit of the fur stuff there. Around the ear. Bam, cool. All right, let's take a look. I might do it all black and white to begin with, just to get my values. Look at it, it's like Inception. He's like looking at him, looking at him, looking at him. All right. let's just start throwing some values in. Wouldn't mind actually releasing the plugin soon-ish and just have it as like a beta. It's like, hey, yeah, let me know what's working, what isn't. What would you like to see? Here, I really want to focus on like real simple shapes. I'm really digging that like simple aesthetic lately. Whoa. That is not the color that I was after. Bam. Let's put that on a separate layer maybe. And then let's do the hair all as one sort of shape so we can cut back into it and do some fun stuff with it all at once. Knocking down the sketch earlier on as well, at least for the ones I was playing with last night, the little studies, did help free up my thinking, or my what am I trying to say? Sort of my experimentation with shapes. I would love to figure out a way also if I could get smoothing working with the lasso tool. That would be sick. That would be lovely. I do know about Modern Day James. His stuff's fantastic. Mic volume's low. That is odd. I mean, I don't want to... Maybe I've got to adjust it so it's right up in here. There we go. Hopefully that's a little bit better. And yeah, Duncan, I'll get you to give it a whirl. That'll be cool. So one thing that helps, at least from a efficiency standpoint, is finding the similar colors and just, instead of going back and forth, just saying, okay, this eye lash is probably going to be a similar color as the eye. Probably going to be a similar color as the brow, at least for now. And I can come in and cut back in some of this stuff. I'm going to show you where the where that little script that knocks these values up and down comes in super handy with these subtle values, having it at like 1% increments. So for example, if I come in here and I know that the light source, so the main light source is coming down here. There's some fill light in here. I'm not going to worry about that just yet. I'm just going to think about this main light source. So I'm going to look at, I'll grab this base value. And I'll end up merging these down anyway, all into the one layer. I'll just knock those values down and just start carving shapes. I'm just trying to think, where are these shadows going to be? Where is the light not going to hit? If you make the smudge tool work like a smudge tool. I've got a tip for the smudge tool itself. When I get to it, I'll show you, because I'll have to use it. But yeah, there's some fiddling around that there shouldn't be fiddling around. The smudge tool should just work. How it's as advertised. Okay, so I'm just going to work on some of these darker values to begin with. Getting the big ones in first, just the big shapes as usual. Light source coming down here. This is probably going to be more in shadow there. That looks about right-ish. Now, the reason the eye looks a bit off at the moment, and it's bugging me, is because the eyes wouldn't be this bright. They would actually be, and this is where it comes in handy. So you come here and just knock it down a few values. Then add a little bit of that shadow as it sort of gets closer to the lid itself. That lid should probably also be a little bit lower. So I'm just making all these like little adjustments, thinking about 3D forms, how they would actually work. Do the old flip it back and forth. Yeah, the smudge tool is fantastic in Procreate. There's been times where I think it's almost easier just to export this out into Procreate and just use some of their effects just to make my life a little bit easier. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start to step the values down and up depending on the light source and what I'm thinking of as the curvature of the 3D forms of the face, right? So in here is going to be pretty dark, so I might just go down, down, down in value, down, down, down in value, down and down in value, and sort of it deepens that crevasse. be that dark in there. Same as in here, it's going to be pretty... We've got a nice little opportunity for some like wrinkly bits with his expression. I'm not copying this guy one-to-one as well. We're just seeing how it all pans out. I might even do something crazy right now. I'm feeling it. We'll just duplicate this whole group. And let's just merge it. Bam, working on one layer. And I'll just work on top of that one layer itself. Yeah, dude, like honestly, this fill tool it speeds up the process, right? A heck of a lot, but it's also so fun, and it's kind of how, not exactly, but how I'm thinking more so if I do traditional stuff. It's very in patches of shapes. It takes a little bit to get the result, but the result seems a lot, I don't know, just clearer in my head as well. So let's start thinking about some of these lighter values. The light source is coming down here. I'm not going to go full value just yet, meaning the darkest darks and the lightest lights. I'm still trying to figure out the the relationship between the values. Right void, I use Pinterest a lot of the time. I also save stuff from Instagram as well. So the reason the light parts are going here is because there's like a ledge of that the eye socket. So I'm thinking maybe there would be a ledge of some sort there. Let's darken this background down a little bit as well for clarity. Let's even come here. See, I'm just bouncing around all over the place. So I'm thinking about the hair. We can blend all this later, but not so much blending with the blend tool. I want to blend it with the value structures and how the values sort of stair step. It's a very painterly sort of way of thinking, which is cool. There's even like a ledge to this beard, right? It's like... I want to darken up some of this mouth in here. I like that little bit of feeling a little bit more open as well. And maybe even have this drop down over the eye a little bit more. I don't know, we're all just it's experiments with figuring stuff out. Yeah, it's a good way with the patch tool. Not a So with the I'm not looking to soften the edges just yet. When I come to soften the edges, I'll remind me again, and I'll give the patch tool a work. Acid reflux, it actually might be but I think what it is, like I've said this in previous streams, when I talk on stream, this happens with workshops, whether I'm drinking coffee or not. I think I swallow air in between talking, and I've just got to learn to talk without swallowing a whole bunch of air. Mark, I know your answer to this will be do value studies, but how do you determine how dark to go when you're working in grayscale? Well, I kind of create my cap, right? So if I've decided at any point in time, now this can change throughout the drawing, but if I decide that this value right there is the darkest dark, then I know that anything that I'm doing as the darkest dark should be that value. Same as the lightest light. At the moment I've got this as the lightest light. Nothing should really go brighter than that, in theory. And that's kind of how I decide. And then I'll like creep up in the values. So I might say, okay, I want this like a few steps brighter. And then I'll look at, okay, where is some of these highlights going to be sitting on the nose? Right, and then if I want to go that little bit darker, the darkest dark at the moment from what I'm seeing is this eyelash. So I'm like, okay, what else is about as dark as that? So I could put his like iris in. Something like that. The mouth is pretty dark. Some of this in here gets pretty dark as well. Even in the hair. So it's just like in stages I'm thinking about the values. It's not like, okay, this is the darkest dark forever. It's like, okay, this is where I'm at with it at the moment. And I might make the option to say, okay, I don't want the beard like as dark as it is in the photo. I might want to chunk some of this some of these sort of, so he's got his little flavor saver thing going on here. I might make that a little bit more graphic. So it like overlaps the other bits of hair. Lewis, how you make to have such, how do I have such perfect lines? I'm starting with my graphic style and I can't make perfect lines. Lines? Try adding a bit of smoothing on whatever your brush is. I've practiced enough so I can sort of hit more or less the lines that I want. So it is a practice. So this is no smoothing, but if I'm trying to work fast, a little bit of smoothing just helps get that sort of smoother line feel. But a lot of it is just practice and figuring out what line quality you like as well. All right, let's figure out this eye. So this eye's round. This is that base color in there. I want to make sure there's no bright stuff going on where it shouldn't be. How I make this feel a little bit rounder. Taking some cues from the reference, but not following it 100%. Same here, I like to have a bit of shadow on this eyeball. I don't know about this music though. I need some energy, some energetic music. Yeah, muscle memory does play a part of it as well, just because I've practiced it for so long. Hitting the lines exactly where I want them. And it's just a time saver thing over time as well. It's like I can't, if I was thinking about, if I want to make this ear, if I had to think about every single line so meticulously, it would just take forever, right? So that's where the practice part comes in, that muscle memory. Really, really helps, and that will develop over time. All right, let's change this music. I'm sorry. Do we go to our standard? I think we go to punk. Let's give that a whirl. Sometimes these are hit and miss, but kind of fits this character a little bit as well. It's not really punk either what's on here, but it's what I've got. All right, let's push these values a little bit more. Let's get some of these transitions going. So come here. Nudge the values up just a little bit, down a little bit. Whoop. Let's get some of the directions of the hairs feeling like that they're going in the direction that I want them to. Because some of his skin's peeking through. His whole eye needs to be darker, I think. And I'll just use the paintbrush just to get these little bits. This could be a point where I start smoothing stuff out a little bit. All right, Duncan, where's this patch tool you're talking about? Let's give it a whirl. So you come here, is it? No. Let's turn the autofill off. The patch tool. Still don't entirely understand what it does. Yeah. I'm probably doing stuff wrong. My muscle memory is forgetting to draw the ears. Okay, where it's blank. Alright, let's give it a whirl. So if I want this transition to happen, let's drag it over here. Oh, hold on, let's merge it all down. Merge it all down, maybe that's the issue. Ha 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 ha, hello. Yep, I get what you're saying. Alright. This is pretty cool. Ooh. New tools, I love it. Thank you, Duncan. Once again. Coming in clutch with the tips. So it gives like nice sort of transitions there. I do want to do some of this manual, most of it manually as well, because there will be times where this won't work as well. No, this is sick. That's how they do it so fast on the environments as well. I get it. Fascinating. Technology, eh? What I do want to do is make a little transition between, like, as his head's sort of rolling away from the light source. Right, so you got the lightest point here. All this stuff is going to be just that little bit darker. So I can do this one of two ways. What I like to do is come here, throw on the multiply layer, just sort of turn off transfer, no, not transfer, shape dynamics, and just sort of just slightly, because that's going to happen naturally. And see, with and without, that's all bright, and now we've got a little bit of a focus. We can knock it back just a tad. Then we merge it down. Now this although this is the same plane or similar facing plane here, it's not going to be the same value. So if I take this, put it here, it's going to be way lighter. So just a little thing you can even see in like oil painting and stuff. Aquarius Hour, hello. Nico Arts, welcome, welcome. All right, Mark. Smudge tool. So if you just got like the vanilla smudge tool, right, and you've just got a soft brush, it like pushes it around. That's not what I want, right? It's annoying. What I like to do is use scattering. Okay, so bring this here. We've got scattering. I'll turn on scattering and I'll up the scattering just a tad. I'll go on both axes. Right, so now when I go, I'll turn the strength right down. And that kind of fixes it. Right, so if I want this transition here to be smudged, I don't want it to be super smooth, but just for demonstration, it works very similarly now to sort of Procreate's smudge tool, which is nice. But a big part of some of this rendering stuff is where to keep the hard edges and where to keep these soft transitions. If you smooth everything out, it all just looks bare. So I hope that helps, Mark. Taylor, I know. It's bloody nutty. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Super grateful. What does multiply do? Multiply, for me, the way I use it is to darken things down while keeping the value structure underneath. Right, so if I just was using a normal layer and I wanted this whole section darker, if I just did that, it's going to go over everything. It's going to like ruin all the values that the value structures that I've made. I'll create another layer on top and I'll do multiply. And let's say I wanted to give him like a tattoo or something, right? I could come here and have that tattoo cross over everything. But you'll notice you can kind of see through it. I use it for darkening things. I don't know technically exactly what it's doing. Multiplying something, I don't know. But you see how you can still see the values underneath. Right, and you can use it for that. You can also use it for what I did just before with like darkening things down. I kind of like that tattoo. Yeah, we'll play around with some of that later. Your Photoshop life is now complete. Now all I need to know is how to color with gradient maps. Yeah, look, you come to the wrong guy for that. I got not a clue. All that sort of stuff, though, for me is kind of like a means to an end. Like, why are you doing the gradient map? Is to get more color variation? Is it to... Yeah, I don't know. Now, I still want to design these shapes in here. I don't just want to go going willy-nilly because we've discovered new tools and go smooth everything out. Right? I want to think about these shapes still. See, like I might not use that lasso tool as much anymore, but it was a really, really quick way to get started. One thing I like to do as well with the eyebrows is design the shapes in such a way that it kind of breaks the silhouette of the eyebrow a little bit. Just makes it a little bit more interesting rather than just a flat shape, if you know what I mean. Something like that. Even have some of this kind of cut in a little bit. Maybe even have a couple of these guys, like, just adds that little bit extra to the eyebrow. I don't know, something I've liked doing recently. But it again, it's on a character by character basis, right? It's not going to work for everything. Let's do the old flip. Alright, let's play. So at the moment, where's my colors gone? Thank you. So we're only at what? 63% of our value range. If I put a white color there, that looks like so out of place. So I'm kind of creeping up to the values. It's all relational. They're all in relation to one another. I want to make this a lot more shapey, not so like realistic with the strands. Multiply is like an adjustment layer. Yeah, exactly right. You can also do it on a, like, have the brush be used as that as well, but I don't usually use that too much. Eric, do you have all the colors and values on one layer or multiple? I started off with a few different layers, but at the moment I'm just working on just that one layer, just all on one. And then if I do colors, I'll start by adding them on different layers above. Now this is something to keep in mind as well, because like, see, the lighting structure isn't, we're not copying this one 100%. So we've got to start to think for ourselves in a way. Like, for example, we know that the nose is here. We've got the key light source here, but this is in shadow. I want to still show form. So I'll add value differences where it makes sense. Even in the shadows. Now that's a stylistic choice. You might just want to make all the shadows flat. Really depends. I know there's a way for you to color in one window while also seeing the value in another window. Yes. Yep. Yeah, I do know that. This guy's probably not as stylized as I kind of like him to be, but that's alright. Mark, I've seen people use the gradient maps to take their illustrations from grayscale to color in a few short seconds. So ideally you could color this guy just like that with the right map. Yeah, I don't know if it's like as easy as just like that. I think there's got to be a lot of adjusting to do with that, because what I believe gradient maps do, they just kind of do what they say. It's you're mapping different colors to different values. So you'd still have to think, I could be fully mistaken, but you'd still have to have an understanding of where you want certain colors to be. You still want to kind of adjust them as they go to make it make sense. But again, I could be completely wrong. Might be getting close to throwing some color on this guy as well. Don't know what to do here for his body, but alright, we'll figure that out after. Let's throw some color on him. Let's copy this. When do I think having a separate window for seeing color would be good? Anytime, really. I've just got to remember to do it. is the issue. Like I could. So I'm using the color layer mode here at the moment. Just sort of. I'm being pretty loose with all this, which is nice. It's like a nice change from what I would usually sort of do, but all the fundamentals and thinking about values and blah 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 is all the same. Let's soften this up. And some like color variation. It's a little bit too intense, but we can always knock that back. To even throw an autofill and go just like bam 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 bam, shebang. There we are. Yeah, they're just like that. For ones that have it all figured out, yeah, which I definitely do not. I do not have barely anything figured out, to be honest. As you start learning more and more, you realize what you don't know and what needs to be improved. Christian's in the house. Also, just to let you all know, Christian is now streaming. He's got the Starlink. So he's going to be a nomad streamer. So hop on to, what have we got? No, not you, season 4. YouTube. And go check out. Hey, look, it's me. Oh, there you go. Look at that. Christian Nee. Go check him out. He's just started doing lives. Oh no, is it Christian Nee or is it Christian Nee Art? I don't know. But he'll start doing some streams. Let us know in the chat, Christian. That fill tool is the berries. That saying is awesome, and I'm going to steal it. The berries. I've never heard that one. Yeah, dude, you got that high-speed internet streaming. That's fantastic. I'm using that's the berries. I don't know why. Oh, that makes me laugh. I don't know why. I love that. I'm stealing that if you do not mind. That's... Oh, that's bloody awesome. I've got to be careful not to overuse it. Like, I don't want to... It's like hearing a good song. You don't want to play it too much or you get sick of it. But the berries is wicked. Christian's going to be streaming 2 to 3 times a week. Look at that. Getting into that art habit. Love it. Also, I say this almost every stream. Go check out his podcast as well. He's got interviews with like some of the... Whoa. Some of like the best artists out there. Highly recommend. Victoria, good to see you. Maxime, yeah, let's all use it. Going to start doing art hangouts. Likely we'll get some guests at some point. Awesome, man. Very cool. Victoria, any advice on studying skin color? It gets confusing sometimes with hints of green, yellow, blue, etc. How did you study skin color? I looked at a lot of faces, really. Like you look at this guy, right? And it's going to change from all different people. I can see like bluey, greeny bits in here in the nose, a bit of reds, purples, yellows up here, desaturated, sort of more yellowy colors here, right? So it's really just getting used to looking for that, looking through the details and trying to find where those different colors are. And I might actually add some of those in, some more of those different colors now. will. There's also something called colors of the face, or color zones of the face. It's only for Caucasian color like that I see. But if you look at any other skin tones, you get all different variations, and it's really going to be dependent on the light source as well. Also, I've found that where the light is the most intense, the more desaturated those colors get. As a general rule, not always true, but you notice that this color of the skin is the same as this color, but as the light hits this gets very desaturated. So I've got to take that into account when I'm painting this guy, because it's basically just put a bunch of saturation in where it shouldn't be. And that's where I was talking about like the adjustment, or adjusting certain things, even if you're using like gradient maps and whatever. There's quite a few little adjustments to make. At least I would think I'd need to make them. Other people might have it on lock and they just know how to wield the tool in such a way that it just does it. I might even try that. Saturation. What does that do? I haven't really used a saturation. I mean, I guess it desaturates things, doesn't it? And then it adds the saturation. If you want it super saturated, you can desaturate sections as well, which will help. That's cool. I like. Except for the underlying value is not where I want it. Yeah, so then I'll pretty much just take this, what I've done here, I might just duplicate it just for my OCD, because I don't want to, I'll never go back to these ones, but I'd do it just because. I don't want to slice. What would I want to slice for? Okay, now I've got these different colors to play with. Let us play. So I got this there, and then we've got to come through and just clean up. I mean, we don't have to, but I want to go in and clean up some of my thinking here. In other unrelated news, from a content creation standpoint, I'm on Twitter, and the Twitter algorithm, or the Twitter source code, I believe, has been released for public consumption. And some people have run it through ChatGPT 4, which has a better understanding of the code, and can sort of like analyze code and what's happening. And you kind of see how the algorithm works, which is pretty cool, because I think it's very rare that we ever get a peek behind what's going on behind the curtain of the algorithms. And one interesting thing that I saw was how they weigh how long someone is on the post, any particular tweet. And I think you could, I don't know for a fact, but I think you could extrapolate some of that into how other algorithms work, like whether it be the YouTube algorithm or the Instagram algorithm. Like, it's very, very interesting if you sort of just search that. It's pretty cool if you are a content creator. If not, don't just disregard all that. Doesn't matter. Oh, very cool, Eduardo. All right, let's remove this guy. And let's just start thinking about the shapes that we've created and cleaning them up. Okay, it's not available. Thank you. Hell yeah, Mark. This is Epidemic Sound. Pretty hit and miss. But it's royalty free and it doesn't demonetize me, so. This is meant to be the punk genre, which I beg to differ. Like, what is this? Not terrible. I think Christian also as well. He's got a video coming out on YouTube at some point. I'm not sure when. Which I'm looking forward to. like an art video. That should be sweet. Riley method related, nice. Nice. It's interesting, the Riley method, he doesn't actually have any content that he made himself out there. Content meaning like books or anything. It's all from his students, if I'm not mistaken. Christian, I think. Or like how it's been like handed down. Yeah, people were obsessed with him. Oh, interesting. So it's the same with Bridgman. I've not studied too much Bridgman myself. Probably be a fun one to explore more. Okay, there's something that I need to do here, and it's this shape that needs to have a transition. That's a bit better. Still, the berries. The berry, it just popped in my head again. I don't know why I like that so much. It's wicked. Man, there's some illustration history being talked about in chat. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Christian. The what's the main one's sort of carrying it on from what I've seen. Ah. Oof. Okay, I wonder. Let's try this. Like carve back in and clean up some of these shapes. Cool. Mm-mm. Alright, maybe it's painting time, like using the brush painting time. CMG, yeah, went well. Yep, finished it all up. Sent it off. That was good. I enjoyed it. Squid Kid, thank you. This is one of the few decent ones in the playlist. Yeah, no, it was good CMG. Was good. A little stressful though, not gonna lie. Is this still a warm-up? No. No, it's not still a warm-up. I mean, there's no reason for this. It's just having fun. This kind of a warm-up turned into rendering practice. Thing about this beard. How do I simplify this? I like to make it more graphic. When doing studies, do you usually do it based on what you need or want to improve? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's just for fun. It's just like when I did a warm-up with the environment stuff, I'm focusing on that a little bit more. Even though I'm not working on it today, I got a little bit of study in, which is cool. Yeah, that's it. It's kind of whatever I'm feeling. If I want to study something in particular, then I'll prioritize doing something along those lines. Duncan, it's just one that I made. Really, it's just a literally just this guy. Oh, hold on. Just that with just as there's no texture on it at the moment, just with transfer at the lowest it can be with the pen pressure, so I can do that. And shape dynamics is set to the angle jitter as the pen tilt, no shape like thickness, like changing the size of it, and that's it. Nothing super fancy. No worries, Duncan. I'd like to see you draw a tree, like the one in the reference. I realize as an adult that trees, at least semi-realistic ones, are hard to draw. I draw them very similarly to how I drew this head, just with really simple shapes. I might do some more foliage and trees and stuff as I delve deeper into environment stuff for sure. How do I try to change the angle of the brush? At the moment I've got shape dynamics to angle jitter and setting it to pen tilt. So then however I tilt the brush is how it goes, angle wise. I want some color variation in the shadows. I always like to do cooler colors. It's a comfort zone thing, but yeah, it does look uncomfortable, doesn't it? Let's add in. Maybe I want to vignette him. Just for this study. Have like a darker background, and then we do one of my favorite things. We'll add some rim lights. No. still. Also saw the Tetris movie yesterday. Highly recommend. It's fascinating. Eduardo, where can we find your brushes? I don't have any available at the moment. I'm thinking about putting just some out for pay whatever you want soon. So yeah, look out for that. How do you organize your digital sketches? I know apps like Procreate have a feature that's handy, but how do you do that with your Photoshop work? I literally have all the brushes that I've downloaded in separate folders. Right. And then I've just got Ben's test. And these are the ones I'm testing. It's not super sophisticated. Not sophisticated at all. I might go for another sort of, maybe another half hour. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today. Anushi, typically, because I do most of my stuff for Instagram, I usually go 4320 by 5400. That's my general sort of standard dimensions, because that does a nice portrait for Instagram. Thanks, Sugar Beats. Welcome. Good to see you. Hope your painting's doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. Let's punch up these values in the eye. Do we want to add, yeah, let's add like some tattoo-y sort of things, just some random stuff, just like a last little play about. Maybe I'll add some like, whoa, no. Too strong with that one. Yeah, better. Just some like a bit of personality. People have bits and pieces on their skin that isn't just perfectly smooth. But even at this stage, I'm thinking about, I mean, if we're going to want to get really finicky with it, like the freckles, they're going to warp around his face, right? Oh, we can knock these ones back because they're more in the light. Then we can maybe add a little tattoo thing in the bottom. I want to think about how it's going to wrap around the face itself. Very God of War-esque. Dad, welcome. Hey, it's behind the house number. You know what I'm talking about. No one else knows what we're talking about. Oh, how do I organize my sketches? Sorry, I don't. I literally just go for it and then just sketch away. Yeah. Have you ever seen a Tasmanian devil? I have. They're cool little things. If dude got his eyelids tattooed, he's the berries. Oh. That's my new favourite saying. That's the best. Or should I say, that's the berries. Maybe this like goes up into his hairline somehow, I don't know. So this is the power of the multiply tool. You can do all sorts of stuff. And then maybe we turn him into a hipster that's just getting coffee. So bring him back into nowadays. There you go. Now he's just... we can throw him straight back in. Maybe he's got his AirPods in. This took a turn. And he's a businessman. So you can just do whatever you want. That's the fun of this stuff. There are no rules. Bam. Yeah, they're really, really cool. They're cool little animals. The 25, it's your first stream. Awesome, awesome. 6 a.m. Hey, good morning. Yeah, the glasses are fun. No, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Duncan. Yeah, I want to figure out with the lasso tool, right? On every, if I went like that, went like that, went like that, went like that, I want to figure out how to shift the hue on each sort of lay down. But then you get to set, maybe like with a slider or something, how intense that hue shift is. Instead of me having to manually go back and do it, I could just be like, all right, I want this value here. But it only does it within a certain range, so the values stay the same. But the hue changes and the saturation changes, but not the brightness. That could be a fun little experiment to try tonight. Can you make him futuristic? Okay. This is like end of stream playtime. I like it. Let's futuristic. What popped into my head? It's like one of these things that you see on all the video games now. Where it's got like a glowing thing. He's got the Neuralink. And then if we take that, did I do that on a separate layer? Good job, Ben. Then we come here, do the old color dooge. Raise some of that. And then we go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe put it more on the plane of his head, on the side plane there. Make it look like he's sticking out. Then maybe he's got like a barcode or something. It's like a QR code. I don't know. Robot eyeball. I kind of want to leave the eyes as is, because that's a little bit on the nose of like, yeah, okay, he's got something up with his eyes. If we're going to do futuristic. Retired Viking, that's it. Make the brain a station like Inside Out in Pixar. Oh, I can't remember that one. Chibi, unfortunately I'm heading off in a little bit, but no, it's good to see you in here anyway. Just one that has a laser. Okay. Just a hint of it. There you go. Easy as that. You got the bionic eye. That's going to light up a little bit of this around here as well. There you go. What is a hipster like it? Yeah, I don't know the pure definition. Duncan, I feel like, I don't know. Hipster was kind of my generation's. You've got all the younger people now. Like with mullets and wearing like old school. Oh, hey, how I said the younger people. I mean, I'm 29. I'm not fucking old, but yeah, I don't even know how I would define a hipster. There you go. All right. Maybe he... I need to get rid of this thing. Yeah. Turn off autofill. No, I'm going too far with this. I'll be here all day. What are you figuring out? I'm trying to think of where the light would hit it. Oh, it's on multiply, that's why it's not working. Nah, I don't know what I'm doing. No. Wrong. Anyway. So there you go. Cool. Why do I like it so much? I love how you said cool berries as well. I think it's the berries. That's the business. That laser eye is the berries. It could be cool berries. Actually, Victoria, that's your way. That's your saying. That's the cool berries. Oh, man. All right. Just having some fun with this, guys. Let's not go into... which I'm probably going to. All right. So we'll do a with and without craziness. Whoa. Okay, there's the craziness layers. Okay. Well, we had him. And then with the craziness. The end of stream shenanigans. Yeah, no, it's good to mess around, Sugar Beats. It's not... That's what this is all about. But, cool. In saying all that... Oh, we're not on warm-up anymore. Oh, bugger it. There we go. Okay, so this is where we got to. Fun times. Having a play around with the autofill plugin I'm working on. Going to do some more discovery with that. There's some things I want to do that could help speed up the workflow even more. Squash all the bugs. Have that option to do color variation with each autofill with the lasso tool. But yeah. That is the end of stream, everyone. We're gonna sort of last 5 minutes, or a couple of minutes maybe, just to chill, arrange some layers. If you have any last questions before I head off, now is the time. Where was my... Yeah, so this is the progress. So starting off with that initial sketch. Starting with the sketch. I like the sketch more, to be honest. That's oftentimes how it goes. Then we came there. Adding some color. Then we add the craziness. Where is my... See, with this one, doesn't like just to show. You don't always have to do values first. This was done just straight up color first, which can give you like a different sort of result. This one I spent a little bit more time on. Where's my warm-ups? Did I delete my warm-ups? Oh no, there we go. And we started with environment warm-ups. So yeah, good little stream. I had fun. I hope you did too. The new Mario movie is coming out April 5th. Cool. I'll have to check it out. Mark, this stream has been the berries. See you next. Yeah, catch you next time, Mark. Oh, new favorite saying. Love it. Oh, that's the berries. With Uncle Ben's stream. Glad you can make it, Squid Kid. Great to have you, Victoria. Thanks, Sugar Beach. Yeah, the hand was my favorite on this one. Yeah, that was fun. Cool. All right. Catch you later. Really appreciate you popping past, keeping me company. It really means a lot for all the support, for all of you that commented on that video as well. I've now got room to start working on the next one, which is going to be fun as well. The next YouTube video. So until next time, until next week, at the same time, catch ya. Awkward. I can't find the YouTube the YouTube stream to cancel it, or to not cancel it, to stop it. Oh well, we'll just sit in the awkward. That's fine. It's all fine. Still here. Still here. How do I... What's happened? We will need to be cutting this out at the... Let's be real, I'm not going to cut this out at the end. I just let them go. Whatever they are, they are. How awkward. Okay, end stream. Alright. Toodles.